Most people go their whole lives trying to obtain peace, but it's sadly something that you cannot buy. You actually have to put the hard work in to obtain it. So how can I have peace and how can it last long? The first step that you gotta do is live in the present moment. Understand that yesterday has passed and tomorrow will worry about itself, like the Bible tells us. Living in the present moment will allow you to be able to focus on the things that you can actually control. The second step is to understand your emotions, your thoughts, and your actions. Let's say I have an exam coming up next week. My thoughts might be, oh, I might fail it. Oh, I have many exams. So my thoughts will all be tangled up. My emotions are that I feel anxious, I feel worried. And now my actions is that I'm not doing anything because I feel overwhelmed. So you see, now that I know this, now I'm able to pinpoint where my anxiety is coming from. I'll now be able to control my peace more better. I'll know what is triggering me. The third step is to finally accept. Accept what I'm able to control and what I'm able to not control. It's beautiful the way God made the world. The fact that we're able to control certain stuff and we're able not to control certain stuff. Imagine being able to control everything. Imagine being able to change everything. It'd be so scary. Knowing when to go to bed, knowing how you're gonna sleep, knowing how you're gonna change, leave the world, knowing what you're gonna eat in 2 weeks. It would be scary and overwhelming. So focus on what you can change, and what you cannot change, leave it in God's hands. But even after all of this, you might not be able to have that peace that you're looking for. Why? Because the fourth step is the most important one. Forgiveness. You have to learn to forgive other people that have done you dirty. Forgive the things that have taken away your peace so that you can get it back. That lack of forgiveness can weigh you down and give you that feeling of overwhelmness. Finding peace is a process, but sustaining it is a challenge. So what can I do to make it last? To keep peace, you have to know what's taking it. And to know what's taking it, you have to understand what you keep going back to. You have to know what you're addicted to. And no, I do not mean substances, because you can be addicted to practically everything or anything. What is that thing that is taking your peace away? To understand this, you have to understand what is your addiction. What are you addicted to? When you don't have that peace, what are you running back to? To understand that, there's two things you have to understand. You have to understand your traumas, and you have to understand why you are attached to that item or that thing or that person. Your trauma is really how you feel about yourself and others internally. Let's say you went through a traumatic event. To finally heal from that trauma, most people will not actually bring that trauma to light so they can see it. But in fact, they'll just use addictions to cope with that trauma that they're going through. And that's where the issue is. You'll never find that peace if you're using something to mask that pain away. You actually have to bring that pain and face it head on. And to make things even worse, add that to the fact that we're creatures that like to attach to things. We need attachment. So most people, like many people in this world, didn't get wonderful parents. And it's not because their parents are bad, because their parents didn't know how to teach them. So they didn't get to experience certain things. They didn't get to experience a certain type of attachment, a certain type of love. And now, because they didn't feel that, they use their addictions to cope. Just like the trauma, they use their addiction to bring them that peace. And that addiction kind of takes the role of a parent. It gives them their love. It gives them the peace that they're looking for in the moment. But like we know, that thing never lasts. So let me use an example. Let's say you have a partner. You went through a traumatic experience and now you're feeling trauma, you're feeling sad inside, so you keep running back to that person. But like we know, the Bible tells us not to put people or things on a pedestal, because what happens is that they can never sustain that kind of value that we're giving them. Nobody's perfect. So they're at some point gonna disappoint us. And that's the issue. Now when they do, we're no longer gonna find that peace that we were feeling in the moment. And we're back to zero, and it's a never-ending cycle. Those two things causes us to be addicted to those things, to those substances, to those people, to those phones, creations, and we think it's going to bring us the peace that we're looking for. We think it's going to sustain that peace, but it's not, because it's never going to. We have to understand that those things will give us peace in the moment. They will not give us everlasting peace that we're looking for. The only thing that will give us everlasting peace is God, because He's the only one that can truly sustain it. Once you finally work on yourself and understand that everything else is controlled by God, you'll understand how deep it gets and how peaceful you'll be. Because the issues that we're putting these things, these people, these attachments on top, we're putting it in where God is supposed to be, but we do not understand that they're not God. They're not perfect. They're not all powerful. So they're gonna come down to where we are, and we're gonna have a void missing there. So yeah, that's all for today. If you liked it, subscribe, like the video, comment if you want more videos like this, and I'm out.